Have you ever gone through the same situation twice, and it felt completely different the second time? Same message, same conversation, same outcome, nothing actually changed. And still, something about it feels worse while it's happening. A comment hits differently, or a simple reply suddenly feels heavier than before. You can't really point to anything outside that caused it, but the experience shifts anyway, almost like it's coming from somewhere else. And the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. Sometimes it's subtle, almost like a small shift in tone, and other times it feels much stronger, even though nothing actually changed. And that's the part that's hard to explain. What you say to yourself does not just describe what is happening. It changes what it becomes in that moment. Take a simple situation. You make a mistake, take the wrong exit, or trip on the stairs. At first, it is just something that happened. It is neutral. It is a moment. But the moment you judge it, everything starts to shift. It goes from "I did something wrong" to "I am wrong." And once it becomes that, the experience is no longer about the situation itself. It becomes something personal. It becomes about you. That changes how you react, how you carry the moment, how you hold your body, and what you notice next. The feeling becomes stronger, and it lasts longer than the moment itself. Not because of what happened, but because of what it turned into while it was happening. The brain uses language to make sense of what is happening. It does not just register the event, it tries to understand it in real time. The words you use are not neutral in that process. They guide how the situation is interpreted as it unfolds. When something happens, the brain looks for meaning, and language is how it builds that meaning. It starts to organize what is happening into something that can be explained and categorized. That is what allows the moment to feel clear or confusing, light or heavy. The interpretation is not separate from the experience. It is what shapes the experience while it is happening. Different words do not just describe the situation. They create different interpretations of it. Take the exact same moment. Nothing outside changes. The situation stays the same. If you tell yourself, "This is challenging," the experience stays open. There is still space to think, to adjust, to respond. But if the words shift to "I can't handle this," everything closes immediately. The situation feels heavier, more fixed, more difficult to move through. Your body reacts differently, your attention narrows, and your response changes with it. Nothing outside has changed, but the experience is already moving in a different direction. Words do not stay in the present moment. They immediately start activating past experiences and patterns. When something happens, the brain does not treat it as completely new. It looks for what feels familiar and starts making connections. The words you use become the signal that guides that search. If the word is "stupid," it connects to every moment that felt similar before. Not just this situation, but other times where the same feeling was present. Those memories are not always clear, but the emotional tone is. And that tone gets pulled into the current moment automatically. So now you are not just reacting to what is happening. You are reacting to everything it reminds you of at the same time. That is why the same situation can feel much more intense sometimes. It is not just about what is happening right now. It is also about everything the moment is connected to. When past experiences get activated, they add to what you are feeling in the present. So the reaction is not coming from a single event. It is coming from layers of similar moments that carry the same emotional tone. That is why the intensity can feel out of proportion to the situation itself. Not because something is wrong, but because more is being brought into the moment than you can see. What looks like an overreaction is often a combination of many moments being felt at once. That is why it becomes important to go back to moments that still feel unresolved. Not to stay in them, but to understand what was happening and how it was interpreted. When those moments are not revisited, they remain active in the background. They keep getting pulled into new situations that feel similar. Taking the time to look at them again helps separate what actually happened from what it became. It brings the experience back from "this is who I am" to "this is something that happened." And that changes how future situations are felt. The shift starts with noticing what you're saying to yourself in the moment. Most of the time, it happens automatically and goes unnoticed. The words appear quickly, and the meaning follows right behind them. That is when the experience begins to change. If it stays unnoticed, the moment keeps expanding without interruption. But the moment you notice it, something changes. You can see the difference between what actually happened and what is being said about it. That awareness creates a pause. And that pause is what allows the experience to stay connected to what is happening now. From that point, the shift is to keep the experience connected to what actually happened. Not what it feels like it means, just what took place. When something goes wrong, the mind moves quickly toward identity. That is what makes the moment heavier and longer lasting. Bringing it back to the action changes that. I made a mistake keeps it about the situation. I am a mistake turns it into something personal. That difference keeps the moment contained instead of letting it spread. Over time, this changes the pattern, and the same situations no longer carry the same weight.